Hello everyone, welcome to the mid-season report for Basingstoke. We're sitting in a cool 8th position, poised to go as high as 5th right now, and potentially fall as low as 11th, but I'm hoping for that 5th position. So again, welcome back. This is Rags to Riches with Basingstoke mid-season report. We are in the 1st of January, as we tend to be around the mid-season report, and overall, so far, it's been a pretty awesome season. So, looking at our record, we've managed 10 wins, 8 draws, and 6 losses. We're doing pretty well on losses, about what you'd expect of a playoff team. But our wins, they're getting a little low. They're a little low. Our draws are doing all right. But 38 points from 24 games, I'll take it. We're sitting in a good spot, and as you can see, that's largely how our entire season has gone. Like, we kind of slump a little bit, and then big win. And then just kind of teeter out, slump a little bit, big win. So, we'll see what happens. We've been all over the place. I think our high was at the beginning of the season in 4th. And then since the very beginning of the season, since the first game of the season, our high, I think, has been 6th. We've never really been any higher than 6th. So hopefully we can get 5th here after this Fulham game. We'll see. They are in 4th position right now, so it's going to be a tough matchup. But fingers crossed, we can hope. Club is losing a lot of money, as you would expect. We've lost about 6.5 million this season already. It's awful. Putting us at an actual balance of negative 4.6 million. And yet, I want to point this out. The board is projecting the club to make a profit of $500,000 this year. So don't be too disheartened by these numbers. They look bad, but supposedly we're gonna make a profit this year. So let's not complain too loudly yet. The board says we're projected to make a profit. So all right. I trust you, board. I trust you. I don't know if I should. You've given me lots of reasons not to, but I do. So our top players this season so far: Daniel Aguirre at 16 goals from 24 matches overall. He's not been in all 24. However, it should be noted that he is, I believe, number 2? Number 3. He is number 3 in the entire league for goals scored. He is an awesome striker, and I dropped that 2.5 million for him, but he is absolutely worth it. The 2.5 million, well spent. Our best player, Dwayne Holmes, stole him from Rotherham, and you can see we are doing better than Rotherham, so that is fantastic. Dwayne Holmes having a great season. Assists coming from Ferguson, Carvalho, and Najib. And more on those players in a little bit. Best pass completion also goes to Dwayne Holmes, as does the best player, so no surprise there. Najib with 3 Player of the Match awards. I believe we have several people that have 2 right now. Daniel Albani picked him up on loan, has the most yellow cards, and Boateng and Etienne both with a red card. It's been pretty bad. How our team is doing overall: we have the 9th best offense, 7th best defense, 7th highest yellow cards, and 3rd highest red cards. We're a little aggressive, but it pays off. We have lots of goals scored, very few goals allowed. And average attendance, 4,984. Remember, our stadium capacity is 5,000. So even though we may be dead last in the league in average attendance, we are maxing out our facilities week in and week out, and that is awesome. That's exactly what we want here. So, as you guys will know, Gareth Gore still hanging around the club, still eligible for under 21s, so good for him, I guess. He's been with the club since 2015. He has yet to make a single appearance, but he does really well for the youth team, for the under-21s Group 8. So we keep him around for that. All right. So for the actual season, right? How have we actually done on a game-by-game basis? Well, it's been pretty all right. I mean, let's be honest. If you remember our preseason, lots of wins against some teams that should really beat us, like Swansea City and Crystal Palace. We managed to beat them. Everyone in our division, we managed to beat, and then Anderlecht, we also managed to beat, who should also comfortably beat us. So we had a great preseason, only losing to Arsenal and Chelsea, and honestly, why wouldn't we lose to them? And even then, small losses. Small losses. But actually, looking at the full season itself, we started off great, picking up a win against Fulham the last time we played them, 2-0. And then start off with Burton in the Capital One Cup, also picking up 2-0. And then our first loss comes against Newcastle, where Hiram Boateng picked up his very first red card. Now, would you expect anything less? I mean, it's Newcastle. They're dominating the league, and they absolutely crushed us that early on. Also, our first away game loss. Our first home loss came against Bournemouth. Again, another team that should be dominating the league, although I don't think they are right now. And we left the Capital One Cup in the second round against Hull with a small loss, but again, as expected, Hull beating us as a Premier Division side. First draw came to Cardiff, and first 0-0 draw came to Burnley, their first shutout being against QPR. Now, big plays of the season. Big things you want to look at. This Birmingham match right here, where Daniel Aguirre got a hat trick. Scored goals at the 37, 54, and 83rd mark, but yet he was not the last one to score a goal, as Ibrahim Koko pulled another one in at 86th minute. We had a phenomenal game, 5-2 over Birmingham away. It was honestly just amazing. Daniel putting in a phenomenal hat trick performance. Honestly, very, very proud of him there. We just had a recent grand follow-up as well. 3-1 over Middlesbrough. Daniel picking up 2 goals there. He almost got a hat trick. He was very close to getting a hat trick, and the team was feeding it to him for that hat trick. He didn't quite get it there, though. Lots of shots on target, lots of shots that were deflected by the keeper. Keeper did a phenomenal job in that match. So, unfortunate for us. Charlton was a nasty one. We went down 2-0 and then brought it back to 2-2. And then nothing happened for the remaining 70 minutes. Nothing happened. Pretty rough there. But hey, we didn't lose, so that was good. And then our only televised match, actually against Bradford City, where we won 2-0. So, it's been a solid season. Looking at the squad, we can just go to tactics here. I don't want to play this team against Fulham, but I'll change this anyways. So our team's done a great job. We've had a great team pretty much all year. Andy Reid is ineligible. All right. Etienne, no, we'll play Da Sevilla. Honestly, it doesn't really matter who I play defender left. They're going to perform poorly anyways, so who cares? Really need to figure out how to make my defender left work better, because defender right, no problem. Ryan McLaughlin, 6.83. Josh Grant often plays in that position, 6.7. No problem. In fact, Josh Grant's specifically lower because he's often played in defender left as well, as Da Sevilla was out on loan for a little while. So we played Josh Grant in defender left, and he performed poorly in defender left. So there's something about that position specifically that makes people really bad. But Ryan McLaughlin's doing great as a defender right. And defender right and defender left have the exact same guidelines. They follow the exact same tactical rules. So I'm not sure what's going on. Defender left, having a hard time. Defender right, doing great. Maybe it's the players, but Josh Grant is an amazing player. Puts in a 3.5-star performance in his ideal position, 3 stars in the center, and 1 star in the left. But I mean, even Johan Etienne, 2.5 stars, he still can't put in a decent game in that position. So I'm really not sure how to proceed. Uh, I think I might do some tactical tweaking, see if we can get ourselves a better playoff position. But I've not figured out what I could possibly do to make my limited fullbacks better. I mean, I could potentially switch them out of limited fullback and maybe I don't know, inverted wingback perhaps. I'm not sure. But we'll figure something out. We'll figure something out. I gotta get my defender lefts working because that's our big weak point. Is you come down and you cross the ball on us, and that's our big weak point. Is we can't stop those crosses. So if we can figure out how to stop those with our fullbacks, that would be great. Maybe keep them outside more. I don't know. Anyways, that's for me to figure out a little bit later. If you guys have any suggestions, please put them in the comments. I greatly appreciate it. Our offense this season has pretty much been exclusively Daniel Aguirre. We've had some goals coming from Ferguson. Carvalho's doing a good job. Najib with picking up a couple goals there. Phil Hopkins picking up a goal. Kevin Smits, Cito also picking up goals. Levin doing okay. Levin's not doing great, but okay. Zhang Chengdong picking up 1 goal in 7 appearances. A little less than we'd expect, but at this point he probably shouldn't be playing at this level anyways. And then Ibrahim Koko picking up a nice 3 goals over there as well. Not bad. So I believe I signed this guy after the last episode. We picked him up, and he's an Ivorian international. Remember, I'm the head coach for Ivory Coast, so I get to choose who's an international. I gave him a couple games fairly recently just to give him that international experience and expertise. And he's a pretty solid player. He's a pretty solid player. Now, I wish we could get him to be a little bit better. Honestly, I wish we can get a star rating up to 4 full stars instead of 3.5. But take what you can. There's another Ivorian player, Eric Etienne, that I would like to pick up as well. But he plays the left position, whereas Coco plays the right position. And we might pick him up to replace Zhang Chengdong. I don't know. Right now we're using him the Chan, the African champion of nations. Hopefully he'll stay around and wait. But we will see. I think those are ducks outside. That's not. Those are not ducks. I don't know what that sound is. I apologize. I'm getting distracted. That is a weird sound. That's not coming from inside the house. That's like. Anyways, you guys can't hear it on the mic. I guarantee it. So we're not gonna worry about it. So again, Daniel being the root of our offense, he's been a fantastic player. 4 full stars. He is arguably our best player. I maintain Carvalho is still our best player because he genuinely just rocks every single time we put him out there, whereas Daniel doesn't necessarily rock every time we put him out there. He still does well, don't get me wrong. He still does well. He's not scored in 3 games, which is his longest streak is not scoring in 4 games. And then he came back with a hat trick. So, take what you get. But he's not scored in 3 games. I think hopefully he will score soon with something big against Fulham. I was going to say against Bradford City. We're not playing Bradford, we're playing Fulham. I want him to score something big against Fulham. We'll see what happens. He's put in a 6-4, a 6-5, and a 9-7. Not the most consistent player, but when he performs well, he puts in, a minimum of 1 goal, often 2 goals, and a hat trick on occasion as well. So we'll see what happens. I think that while he is a phenomenal cornerstone of our offense, Carvalho is genuinely a better player. Again, not necessarily the most consistent, but minimum 6.2. Where did he pull a 6.2? Against Leeds very recently. Okay. Aside from that 6.2, We got a 6.7 low. That's pretty good all in all. Like his lows are not that low. His highs are pretty high. So that's pretty good all in all. So I'm sorry, I'm getting slightly distracted. I don't know what that sound is. It's a weird sound. I apologize. Again, Dwayne Holmes, highest average rating. The guy is a beast. So people are still trying to buy Quentin Bratt. They have not stopped trying to buy Quentin Bratt. And now it's down to championship sides are trying to buy him. So I should be able to keep him away from championship sides. We're in the championship. We're performing well in the championship. I should be able to hold on to him and not worry about losing him to another championship side. He's a solid keeper. I would like a better keeper. I don't know where I would get a better keeper. So we're just going to try and hold on to him for now. Now, if you recall, when we first bought this guy, he was not the best. He really wasn't. He was not a championship. He was barely a League One. He was more of a League Two keeper because we had to sell Oliver Davies. But with all the game time he's gotten, he is a phenomenal keeper now. So I'm super happy with Quentin Bratt. He's, aside from the fact that he kind of wants to leave, he's actually a pretty solid player all in all. And the cornerstone of our defense, I would probably say, is Roberto Piero. Piero, I believe, are offering a new contract right now, although it doesn't say. Yes, we are offering him a new contract right now. It expires at the end of the season. We're trying to get him on a new contract. And he demanded a contract until 2025. So I was reluctant to sign such a long deal, but we took him on. Hopefully he'll be doing good work for us for years to come, as I'm not expecting to get promoted this season. Although, I mean, if we get in the playoffs, anything could happen. But yeah, all in all, it's been a fantastic season. Our players are doing great. I want to go ahead and point out I did change our under-21s and under-18s head coach. They were not doing super great, so I went ahead and rotated them out to get other people. So Dean Hammond used to be our under-21s assistant coach. We promoted him to because we didn't have a head coach for the longest time. The assistant coaches, under-18s and under-21s, were both taking over, and I was seeing how they were doing in that new position. Dean Hammond took our under-21s team to the highest they've ever been in that division. So I went ahead and said, you can go to be head coach. Good luck. I think he'll do well in that position. And I gave him Michael Gorlitz as an assistant coach. I think he will do a great job motivating the boys, as well as having great knowledge on technical and attacking attributes. So not the most adaptable, I'll admit, and not the most tactically knowledgeable, but he is determined, he's motivated, he'll be a great assistant coach, really can help motivate the boys where Dean Hammond cannot. However, Dean Hammond, far superior. He is a phenomenal, I think, in my opinion, head coach. He's a phenomenal head coach. So I'm really hoping that Dean Hammond will lead our youth team to success. For the under-18s, John Beals still remains the assistant coach. He was not able to prove himself to me, understandably, when you look at his stats. So we hired Kevin Krotz to fill in that position. I think Kevin Krotz will do a pretty good job as well. Again, not as good as Dean Hammond, but I think he's a solid guy. His biggest weakness is he's not good with kids, and he's dealing with the youngest squad. He's dealing with the youngest team, and he's not very good with kids. That being said, anyone who is worth anything in the under-18 system, I either promote to under-21s or I promote to the senior squad. So the fact that he's not particularly good with kids doesn't really matter to me, as he's only going to be dealing with the absolute worst of the team anyway, and I don't expect him to do very well with such a limited roster. I mean, as the kids that end up being good, I end up putting up in here to train with the main team. And we've got Andy Reid, who's made it to a 1.5 stars now. He's doing real well. Charlebout, who was up to 1 full gold star. Chris Stanton, who's 5 silver stars, still not doing very well. And Daniel Holland, 4 silver stars. He's actually gotten worse despite getting game time. I'm hoping to sell him for anything soon because he's not signed onto a contract for the club. He's not. He's just not he's not doing a good job. What he wants for a contract is also laughable. Like when I've offered him contracts, and every time I offer him a contract, he comes in with something absurd. It's like, dude, know your place. You're a youth player. You are a north-south quality player who could one day maybe play for League One. Maybe. If you're lucky. But he wants this contract that's just absurd for a north-south player. And it's just like, no, I'm not giving that to you. So I want to sell Daniel Holland as soon as I can, but we'll see what happens. You'll notice that we actually are missing a player if you're keeping attention to our youth team here. We have actually quite a few players here that are out on loan. Ollie Bassett is out on loan at Wycombe. He's out for the rest of the season, in fact. Good luck to Ollie Bassett. He was doing a great job over there last I saw, scoring lots of goals for him. So, again, good luck to him. Jake Graninger out on loan as well, 19 years old, 5 silver stars. Hopefully he'll do better. We'll see. Ollie Lee, we're letting him run out his contract with the club. He's over on Forest Green, 30 years old, great servant to the club. Fans love him. I think he's a great player, but he's not good enough to play for the championship side anymore, unfortunately. Joe Hallahan, 1 full gold star over at Dover, our affiliate club. He has great mental attributes. If he can train his physicality and his technicality, he will become a phenomenal player because he already has great mental attributes. So we'll see what happens with him. He's doing great over at Dover, putting in a 7.25 average. So that's good for him. Rodolphe Diallo sitting at Ege Azur. 2 gold stars, looking to be potentially more. Are you out for the rest of the season? I don't actually know your dealio. You are out for the rest of the season. So hopefully we will see you come back as a better player. Unfortunately, however, you're not actually playing, which sucks. Because at least over here, he'd be playing youth matches and staying match fit. But he's not even doing that for AJ Gajur, so that's a problem. And then Vince Mignol as well. It's 1.5 stars defender. Look over at Wraith, 19 years old. Hopefully we can do better with him. He's great physical stats if we can make him do better. I think he's out for the rest of the season too. Just about, yeah. So he's over at Wraith, putting in solid performances, 7.2 average. So we have lots of players that are out right now, and hopefully again they will do a good job. Competition-wise, we are in the FA Cup against Mansfield in the third round, and actually in the third round is also Dover. Dover's in the third round. Wouldn't you know? They've had a phenomenal run. Our little Dover. They had a really bad start of the season. I should make it clear. They had a really bad start. They were looking to be relegation threatened at the start of the season. They put in a new head coach, Chris Brown. I don't know who their old head coach was. Their head coach movement didn't show up in here. I'm not sure whether or not it's because there was not any money being transferred or what, but they have a new head coach, and now they're sitting in first, as you would expect them to be, and they made it all the way to the third round of the FA Cup to go against Bristol City. Now, you know Dover is screwed against Bristol City. But, to be fair, they managed to beat Plymouth and Doncaster. Plymouth being League 1, Doncaster being League 2. And they're doing well in the FA Trophy as well. So, you know, anything could happen. I do not expect Bristol City to do well at all. But anything could happen. They have a couple of our players Marino Diorsi, Joe Hallahan, and Carl Tuck. So actually 3 of our players. Joe Hallahan being the best of our players, but Marino Diorsi doing a great job as well for that offense. So again, anything could happen. We'll see. But all in all, good job to Dover Athletic. I'm rooting for them because they are our feeder team. I want them to be as high as possible. And if that means having them be in League One when we're in the championship, I think that would be amazing. Or if we're in the Premier Division, they're in the championship, again, I think that'd be amazing. I want to help them to get that cause. And that means sending them some of our youth players, buying youth players to send to them as well. So good luck to them. So, one last thing. Our youth facilities completed. Search for senior affiliate, again, failed. It says completed. To be honest, it failed. It was not completed. We gave it a good run. I did manage to convince the club to give me more money, which is why we have $25,000 available on payroll. But I don't know what I'm going to do with that money. Who knows? But I did actually have them give me more money, so that worked out well. But this episode's gone on long enough. We've had a great mid-season, and we're looking to hopefully finish in the playoff positions. Now, assuming, barring catastrophe, I'm hoping we'll finish in the playoff positions. Anything last for Ivory Coast, we are in the African Championship of Nations. Group C, we have Nigeria, Algeria, and Uganda. Easy, super easy. We have African nations qualifying group against Libya, Seychelles, and Sierra Leone. And then we have World Cup group against Sweden, Japan, and Italy. So good luck against Italy. They're our toughest opponent for a good long while. I've not set up friendlies yet, need to do that. But they are absolutely our toughest competition for a while, is Italy. I guess, well, there we go. We're currently 8th in the world. We are currently sitting in 8th. Our high of 4th fell to 5th, and then we've been sitting in 8th for a little while after a couple bad games. However, we're still ahead of France. We are still better than France. Even though we're in 8th, we're still better than France. So that's all we need to really keep ahead of. As long as we stay ahead of France, we can steal French players that are good for Ivory Coast and bring them over. I've been doing that, actually. Because we've been up here long enough, I've been able to grab over some new players that I've not had before, and I wish I could show them to you, but I can't because we're currently have our team for the Chan. Oh, you guys are all wanted? Well, I don't want. I guess I do want Eric Etienne to some degree. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. This is what Chan is good for, honestly. This is what the Chan tournament is good for, because all these players are sitting here in Africa. These are all the players that are currently in Ivory Coast. They're just sitting here. And now they're getting international attention because they're being picked for the Ivory Coast national team. So that's honestly awesome. I'm really happy to see that they are getting the attention that they deserve, that they will get a team to play with, and that more teams are going to buy more players from ASEC, like Yaya Sia. Tel Aviv loving to pick up those players, obviously. So get more money to these African teams and get them going. Yaya Sia, by the way, 2 caps, 2 goals. Just want to point that out. 2 caps, 2 goals. He's 16 years old. So he's doing well, but he's not actually playing for ASEC right now. But yeah, anyways. We're doing well. We're set up in a really great spot for Ivory Coast. We're picking up a lot of players that would play for France, except we're better than France. So we're stealing them, and it feels good because they were stealing some of our players earlier. So anyways, again, this episode's gone for long enough. We'll go ahead and call it here. So remember, if you like the video, give it a like, subscribe, and share. Thank you to Amphit for being a Patreon subscriber. If you want to support the channel, there's Patreon in the description down below. And we're doing phenomenally. All in all, we're doing phenomenally, sitting in 8th place in the championship. Hopefully we'll get the playoffs. We'll see. I imagine by the time you guys see the next episode, our losses will be at like 10 million. I'm not looking forward to it, but so be it. So be it. As long as we're projected to make a profit, okay. It's as long as we're projected to make a profit. I'm actually curious. I've not seen something for a little while. What are we valued at? 3.2 million. Okay. And our finances are officially insecure. Great. Let's not spend that money. How about we just not spend that money? Oh my goodness. I still want a new owner. I want a new owner. But that's okay. It's alright. So again, thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys next time with some more Basingstoke rags to riches. Our best attribute is aggression. And our worst attribute is leadership. But hey, if it works, and it's been working, so that just it makes me really sad to see those two things side by side, but if it works. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you next time at the end of season report. DFTBA.